Hey, I got a question, Troy.
Alrighty.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I have no idea, but I have a feeling it's a lot.
I think it's 3/4 a day
Okay, and why do you think 3/4?
because it sounds good. I don't know.
It just kind of goes along with it. So
Somebody says it and you say 3/4, they're like, "Oh, you got an answer?"
yeah, I've never heard an answer to it before, so that's the first one I've heard.
All right, I asked you that because, all kidding aside, how many services can a church member miss before they have forsaken the assembly?
How many? You could almost do the same thing with that, right? Make that sort of kind of rhyme out of it.
It's almost a tongue twister thing, but that's the question actually we have today. It reads, would Hebrews 10:25 condemn those who refuse to attend church gatherings other than a single Sunday worship service?
Ah, okay. I see why the question is. This is one of those verses that a lot of people go to try to condemn people for not attending services, but that's not really what this verse is actually doing.
It kind of does and it kind of doesn't.
Right.
And I think it's a very relevant question because since COVID-19 has happened and all those shutdowns and I'm not getting into all of that, but I've heard many church leaders talk about that there's people refusing to come back to the gathering, to the assembling of the Christians. And so I can't help but wonder if maybe that might be at play in this question.
That's the key to the question. The key word there is refuse. And I think that goes back to what we were saying. In this case, it doesn't condemn people, but if you're refusing, well, then it does.
So let's read the verse.
Okay.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. And when you take just that one verse, and people a lot of times use that, don't forsake the assembly. And if you miss a Wednesday night or you miss a Sunday night, then we'll say, see, you forsook the assembly. Well, sometimes some things do come up that hinder us from being able to attend the gathering. And it's very important to remember the word church in its simplest form actually means assemble.
That's right.
Because we are assembled in the body of Jesus Christ. That is the church. And when we come together, the purpose is for the edification, the uplifting. And remember back in verse 24 of Hebrews 10, it says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
And that's the point I was trying to make, that it's not necessarily for condemning. It's really more for encouraging. And that phrase, one another, well, you do well to study that because there is almost 80 different times that phrase is used. And I think of John 13:35, whenever Jesus says, if you love one another, then they're going to know that you are my disciples.
Exactly.
However, as you said, there are those people who refuse.
And that would be where verse 26 probably does come into play. That many people take the connection for if we sin willfully.
Right.
And
exactly.
they say, well, see, refusing to attend. But remember the word forsake there. It's not the concept of just I missed one time or I missed two times.
Because people do have work, they have illness, they have military. There's all kinds of reasons why somebody might have to miss. It's not because they want to miss.
Yeah, this idea of forsaking is abandoning.
There you go. Exactly.
Not coming back to. So if somebody refuses to come back to assemble with the Christians, would that be sinful? Sure, if it's within their power.
Absolutely.
But just missing once, twice during deployment because of work, is that sinful? No, because what we want to be doing is assembling to worship, to edify.
Amen.